Hey guys, quick video here. Just wanted to make sure that this is on. But we're going to basically go through a quick process, a framework, if you will. Having a frame or holding a frame is something that's really powerful. One of the books I recommend on this is Pitch Anything by Oren. Oren, he lives here in Beverly Hills. He actually, he's a pitch guy, the most successful pitch guy. And when they need $100 million for a new shopping mall, $500 million for a airport, something like that, he's the guy that goes in and pitches investors. So you'll need to be aware of some of these beta traps, and I'll mention them as we go out throughout this little process here. But the first step that we're going to go through, I'm going to teach you a framework, and one of my mentors said this. He says you can have a framework or you can have hard work. Having a framework allows you to know what steps that you're taking people through, and having a professional process, your clients will feel like they're dealing with a professional. You'll be asking them lots of questions. You'll be talking a lot less than you probably have, directing them with questions, getting them talking, and the more they get talking, they'll be emotionally invested in what you have to offer. So you want to bring up some of their frustrations, some of their pain, some of their fears. This will build connection, and it'll also get them, as we understand this pain-pleasure principle, people do things to go from away from their pain and towards pleasure. So we want to get them in their pain a little bit, really focused on the pleasure of what they want at the same time, so they're having this visceral emotional response, and they take a swift, powerful decision. And you'll avoid a lot of that, I need to think about it, or this or that. So here we go. So this process I learned from a guy named Kevin Nations, and I've changed it along the way a bit, but we're not going to use my acronym. We're going to use his for now, just going to be easier for you to really grasp. This is a simplified version of what I do, so we'll doctor it up here a little bit, but this will be good. So the first is called RAPID, R-A-P-I-D. So please write that down, RAPID, R-A-P-I-D. So the R, the first letter here, stands for research. Research. So before I do any talks for Tony Robbins, before I met you guys, before I do anything, before I hop on a call of any sort, I make sure that I'm associated. So I've done some research. If I'm pitching somebody off of the internet, I look at their Facebook profile. I want to create this bond, this association. This is going to allow me to get rapport. People often said after they meet me, that's like they feel like they've known me forever, because I think about these people on the way. I think if they're a real estate agent, what's their day like? They're doing open houses, or I find out a little bit about them where I really feel this connection to people, and I ask myself questions like, what do I love about this person? Why do I care about this person? And they'll sense the sincerity, and you might even say, hey, I looked you up online. It's a beautiful home, and I like to get to know my clients a little bit. I noticed you have a website. I hear that you're up to this. I'm really excited to talk to you about what we're going to transpire in your home here today. So so this kind of stuff is just good. You might not have to say anything like you did research, but it's just good to get a feeling. And you think about the mindset that you have of when you go over your best friend's house, you're like excited. That kind of feeling it's magnetic. It's it draws people in, and it creates this connection. So if some of you fans of Tony Robbins, some of you not, I'm going to mention him a few times here because he is the ultimate master of communication. He's coached 4 American presidents, guy from 17 years old, working as a janitor, to what he's done today. He's done it off of his personality, and he's very smart, very tactical with his language, and he always does the research. Before every UPW, before every seminar, before every conversation, this research to make sure that he's associated where you feel like mentally, emotionally, you're going to see a friend. So important. So the research is more for you than it is for them, but also if you have some research that you need to do about the home, about the area, knowing the specs, making sure that you come in there as an educated consultant. And one more thing I want to share here before we go to the next piece, the next step, the A, is that there's 2 mindsets that you can get into. And I'm going to cut the video off at 10 minutes just so you know, because I think that I can't upload anything more than that. But there's 2 mindsets that you go into. Yes, you want to be warm and sincere. And this is no knock against people of your nationality, but sometimes people that I've met from that part of the country can be very stern, but people who are like themselves. So when you see people that are really firm in their language, like yes, one-word answers, people like people who are like themselves, that's the law of rapport. So you want to be similar in your responses. So you'll have that matching and mirroring type energy, But making sure that you're warm, you're sincere, you're professional, you're polite, goes very, very far. Dressed to the nines, strong eye contact, warm, firm handshake, all that good stuff that I'm sure you already do. But here's the two mindsets that salespeople get into. One is demonstration, demonstrating value. And so imagine this: there's somebody that wants to pitch you something, or maybe the good analogy here is that of a going to a doctor. And so a doctor, say you had like brains, like cancer or something crazy, and you were doing some research and you met 20 different doctors, and you meet this one that's demonstrating his value. He's like, hey, I went to this school and we're the best and I can really help you. And it's almost like needy. He's demonstrating his worth. Like a guy like trying to date a girl, and he's like, hey, I got this fancy car, and hey, I'm rich and wealthy, and look at me. It comes from a frame of insecurity. Really successful people, confident people, they don't do that shit. They're just like, hey, this is, they don't have to tell you the best. They don't even talk about themselves. What they do is they're not in a demonstrating value, demonstrating their worthiness mindset. They're in a diagnosing problems mindset. So if you went to a world famous brain surgeon, if you went to the best in the world, he wouldn't start telling you and selling you on himself about all the great things that he's done. He would diagnose your problems. He wouldn't prove his worth. He would start asking you questions. He wouldn't say, hey, I went to the school. He would say, where does it hurt? How long have you had the pain? What's missing, or what can you not do based on this malfunction that you have? And so pain, diagnosing your problems. So you want to go in there like a brain surgeon, like this person. My mindset, when I'm selling anything, is that if this person doesn't, fix this problem or buy my service, it's going to affect them. This is their home. This is like where their kids sleep. They want to have a beautiful space, and maybe they've made some money. Yeah, they want to skimp on costs, but like, this is your fucking home. This is like where you live, and this is where you're going to have your meals and make your memories. Like, if you don't do this, there's going to be a frustration in the home, and that's going to turn into arguments with your wife, and then, you're not happy, and you're home there every day, and you're working so hard, and you've got this beautiful space. So if they don't really take my diagnosis, if they don't really handle this, it's going to end up affecting their health, their relationships, their money. Then their investment in their home is often the largest investment of their life. So I really want to ask them questions to get them really in this frame of taking this on. So we've got like 2 more minutes. So the next piece is A, stands for agenda. And what we'll probably do here, agenda. And I'm just going to make a new video. So A is agenda. See you in the next video.